Welcome to the Jointery Offcuts, because once a week wasn't enough for some people. I don't know what they're doing. Do they need more hobbies or a job? But yeah, here it is. It's another episode in the same week.
Do you have a restaurant litmus test? If you don't know what I'm talking about, right?
Okay.
Like when you go to like a Mexican restaurant, to judge the restaurant, you order a certain dish because that way you could compare that dish versus every other restaurant. Their dish. So like for me, like Chinese food, it's always egg foo young and Mongolian beef, right? Those are my judging. And if I like those, then I'll sometimes start to get into more things to see how it goes. Like with Mexican restaurants, it's always carne asada. And I have one for almost
shredded beef.
Yeah, exactly. Shredded beef. You did eat a shredded beef taco this week, though.
I did, bro. They were so effing good.
Did it taste like carne asada?
It tasted better
because it's a better taco. Did you apologize to Debbie's mom?
I did. I apologized. I did. So no, I don't know that I have. I mean, I told you when I go to a Mexican restaurant, I usually always order carnitas. So I guess that would be the one thing.
Okay.
Carnitas are like, hit or miss. Usually they're either really good or they're not. So if they can't do carnitas well, then I'm pretty much bummed. But even further than that, ahead of that, is I told you chips. Like if I go to a Mexican restaurant, if the chips aren't good, the chips and salsa, dude, I'm out.
Does the chip quality have any relation to the actual food quality? So like if they have good chips, does that guarantee you're gonna have good food, or is it just like no, their chips are good and that's it?
No, usually if the chip is good, the food is good. If they can take the time to make a good chip, because that's what you're setting down at the table first, right? That's the opening number, right? That's what you're coming out with. If your chips suck, then I don't even want to know what the rest of the food tastes like, because I mean they don't even care to put out a decent chip at the beginning,
Well, maybe
let's be real.
Chip is different than yours. I don't know. Do you guys order Chinese food much?
Not in the sense that you eat Chinese food.
Okay.
We go to places that we go to. Debbie likes Panda Express.
And you don't like sushi, right?
I don't eat sushi. No, I don't like fish. No. I'm not a big fan of the fish.
How about
I don't certain fish I'll eat, but not normally.
Like what fish do you eat? I
love tuna. I'll eat shark, which is weird, but I've had it numerous times throughout my lifetime.
Do different sharks taste different?
They do. They do have a little bit different taste. Like I'll eat tuna, not just tuna like a tuna sandwich, but like I used to work at I used to work at King's Fish House, which is a restaurant out here that we have. But and so like the sashimi or the tuna, the tuna. I don't know. Like I said, I don't eat fish, but like when they bring tuna out and they just slice it right up.
The seared tuna?
Seared tuna. Yeah. There you go.
That's really good.
I've eaten that and I've enjoyed that. So yeah, certain fish I like, but certain fish I don't like. I won't eat scallops. I won't eat oysters. I won't eat anything like that because I just don't like the. I've only had lobster once, and it was okay. It wasn't horrible.
Interesting.
I just don't like the fishy taste. You know what I mean? Like that's why I don't like scallops and lobster, oysters and stuff like that. They have that like fishy taste to it. I don't know. I can't get past it. Italian, obviously.
You ever had Ethiopian food?
I've had some of it. It's spicy, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cuban food. I love Cuban food.
So most of the Latin flavored foods you like.
Yeah, I mean, it's mainly
know if Latin flavor is the right word, but
I mean, mainly
sounds like a boy band.
Yeah, Latin flavor.
Oh,
Menudo opening for Latin flavor. No, yeah, it's mainly like fish. Like I mean, pretty much everything else I'll eat. You know what I mean? But it's mainly fish. I just don't really enjoy that much.
What do you like on your pizza?
Meat. cheese, any meats and cheeses, and
Any vegetables?
I've done I could do like pineapple. I could do
Pineapple's not a vegetable.
Well, okay, it's not a vegetable, but it's
It's in the vegetable
in that
category. It comes from the grow in the ground category, bro.
it's in the grow in a tree or grow in the ground category.
Walking or planted. That's my 2 categories. Walking, swimming, or planted. Flying. 4 categories.
Yeah, those are our categories: walking, swimming, flying, or growing. No, pizza toppings.
Like,
I mean, mainly I just like
or
pepperoni.
mushrooms or.
No, I mean mainly I like meat pizza. I like pepperoni, sausage, stuff like that.
Do you guys have hot dog stands in California?
No, remember I told you. Well, we've talked so many times. The only hot dog places that we had, you get Home Depot, and then they got rid of the Home Depot hot dog stands out here. So,
and then that's crazy. I know because you got a taco place. I'm trying to think what other kinds of food that we generally like to eat. Do you like Japanese food like hibachi?
Love that, dude. Like the teppanyaki, like, dude, it's the best.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I love that type of stuff. We go to the Benihana like once or twice a year. We go to this place called Shogun, which is by our house. And I'm a fan. Debbie eats I like the soup a lot. The soup that they serve is so fucking
that little
good.
miso soup.
Yes, dude, it's just the best, dude. My kids don't eat theirs, so I'll eat theirs. So it's the best. Debbie eats all my vegetables though, so I eat the fried rice, I eat the meat, I eat the soup.
I eat everything.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, no, I was curious because there was one of the things we were talking about Clubhouse is that somebody had said like, oh, that's my litmus tests for this type of restaurant, right? So like for me, like I always go with like a chicken shawarma at a Mediterranean place. I also judge their falafel very hard.
That's a street food, a falafel thing. They have a lot of falafel stands in Chicago.
The falafels at all the Mediterranean places. There's no like places that are only falafels.
But I mean, they have
it's like the fried ball of, was it?
I'm sorry. I was thinking of the gyros. Oh, in my head when you said falafel, I don't know why, but I was thinking of the meat and the rolled up pita breads things.
Yeah, and we call it gyros here. I don't. I know a lot of people call it gyros, but we call it gyros.
It's gyros. I know it's gyros. It is gyros. I said gyros. I that's wrong, obviously.
I can't wait to people correct you all week, but yeah, it's okay. I do love how people like dogpile on you, like whenever you say anything that they're like, God damn it, Ben! Like they're just waiting. Like, oh, you take one misstep off of anything, misspeak, you get something wrong. It's like, oh man, dude, like I love hearing those stories.
Yeah, it's the best. I love it too. It's so much fun.
You know what I get? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I don't even know what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Oh, perfect. That's ideal for my situation. Because like I was thinking about all this bad feedback you get, and like the kind of feedback I get is like, like. I don't know why.
People are just tearing me up out there. Huh?
Oh man, dude! They open up clubhouse rooms just to talk about you, and then they invite you in. Like, Ben, you can witness this. This is going to be all about you, buddy.
I did get a lot of shit for the shredded taco. I'll tell you that much. I did get a lot of shit for that.
Well deserved too. But no, so you remember I did that video last week, the Magna Glue bottle with Dave. You know,
I love that. By the way,
so in the video, I had said like, "Oh no," a couple times, right?
Yeah.
And some dude recorded it and made that "Oh no" his ringtone on his phone, right? And he assigned it to his mother-in-law, right?
Oh, geez, yeah.
And he messaged me yesterday, and he was like, "Yo." He's like, I was in the car with my kids and my wife, and the phone rang, and it was like, oh no, no! And the wife is like, who the hell is that for? Like, what the hell is this? The kids started laughing. He's like, it's your mother. She's. I think that's what he said. It's something like that. I can't remember.
You've hit the big time, man. You're a ringtone now. It's huge.
Dude, I mean, it's an achievement that I didn't think. Oh yeah. Wait. What? Here's the story. He said. And this is. I'll give him a shout out. Refurb.creations. I don't even know this dude's full name, but he's a really nice guy to me, at least. I think he lives in the UK or something. He's like, so Luke, I was driving with my car, dropping my daughters to their mums. You know, I guess he is British. Mums, M-U-M-S. And she calls my phone, tells them, oh no, ringtone went off. And I laughed. Oh, I was laughing. So were my daughters. Their mom asked me why I was laughing. So I told her that I had your ringtone. Oh no. So it was his wife, right?
Oh
no.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh really? You got me set just for me then? He's like, he told her, he goes, I was like, no, yours is Darth Vader ringtone, joking, right? But then I'd said it for all calls. He was like, very funny. I thought you might want to know. So yeah, he got busted because I guess it was his wife who he set the oh no ringtone for.
Oh shit. It wasn't his mother-in-law. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's just fantastic.
Yeah.
And by the way, that Magna Glue bottle thing is actually genius. I had no friggin' idea. I actually love it. And Dave and I are trying to design a magnet attachment for Titebond glue bottles.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I thought it was smart. I know you guys were joking around about it, but I mean, in certain situations, like you were showing in your video the other day, it's the worst when you're doing a glue up and you put the bottle down and all the glue but goes back down to the bottom and you got to turn it back over and you got to shake it to get it back. It's so much smarter to have it sitting vertically like that or horizontally like that.
Dude,
I loved it. I thought it was a great idea.
Stuck on my air cleaner for like a week. And I went to go use it, and it was already upside down. Like the first little squeeze glue came out. I was like, I love it. And then I wanted to put it down, so I magneted it to my sawhorse underneath my workbench. And I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Ideal glue up situation. Yeah.
So I have your next video in mind, by the way.
Oh yeah.
So you need to do another. Oh no! You need to do another reel with it up on the top of your air thing again, but you need to open it and hold stuff underneath it. So it's like it's gluing itself, it's squeezing itself out. You know what I mean?
The
like
auto glue.
Gravity's acting. The auto glue. This is the new. If you order now, two payments of $29.95, we'll throw in the auto glue.
Dude, I'll just put a clamp on it, like squeeze it once or twice, and then pop the top off, and the glue will come flying out.
Yes, dude. I'm telling you, got to make that video, dude. That would be hilarious.
I broke my other glue bottle filming that video too. So, because I had a bigger bottle of Titebond 3 that I was when it was like, oh, and you could, helps you with the flipping internet flipping challenges. So I threw it, and it hit the ceiling, and then it came crashing down tip first on the other end of my workbench, and then rolled off, and it's like the whole tip of it broke off. I was like,
yeah, I was curious about what happened to that bottle, by the way, when you threw it, because it disappeared. I was like, where the fuck did that bottle go?
Yeah, I was like, oh God, it's like, too far, bro. So
I haven't seen Dave. I haven't watched. I saw Dave's new video come across this morning when he was dressed up as his wife. I haven't actually took the time to watch it, but that guy's stepping up his video game. Dude, strong.
He got that 3D scanner that is like so detailed. It does such a good job that like you could scan a part, print it, and that part will fit perfectly on whatever it was there. Like it's like that good. So he scanned himself, and he's been making Dave action figures. And he told me that he's going to release the scan of himself out there, right? And
so people can make little Daves.
People can make Daves, but I think that I'm going to like cut his head off and put his head on different things. So
you should make a head for your CNC that you can fit his head over your the top of your CNC. So
Yeah.
it's just Dave's looking at you the whole time.
I was thinking because he did like the toothpaste. He put his head on the toothpaste attachment where it just squirts out of the butt. You know? Did you see that thing? Yeah. And
I haven't.
I was thinking, I was like, oh, maybe I could do it where it's like a glue bottle attachment where the glue just comes like vomiting out of his mouth.
Yes, dude, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, it'd make the top of the Titebond bottle.
Jeez.
Dave said, "You breaking stuff over there? What's going on?"
Yes,
I
can't, dude. I'm like, I can't play with things on my desk. I got called out for that, so now I'm kicking this thing underneath my desk, and I just flipped it over, and it's just loud as fuck. So I have to. It's hard for me to sit here this long and just chat. You know,
dude, I have an idea for a bit, or not really, but yeah, a bit. Tim from Tim Greenwood from Turkworks sent us a message this morning on our podcast thread, and, and he friggin' he told us he was basically talking about what he's doing at that moment, and he was talking, and then he said, "Okay, I'm doing this, this, and this," right? And I could tell that he said 3 things.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell what he said. I can't understand him to save my life. Like, honestly, I loved him. Like, the intro sounds fine. The outro of our podcast sounds fine. But like, just like a normal conversation with him, dude, I have the worst time understanding what he says. So I think we should do a bit where Ben tries to fucking
interpret. Okay. Yes. Okay. You know what? Then what I'm going to do is before the next podcast, because he does that shit to me all the time. Right, like I could understand him pretty well, and I'm pretty good at understanding most people, regardless of how thick their accents are. But like he throws in words that I don't know what they mean, and he'd be like, "Oh, you know what this means," but like I'm pretty good at guessing them. But I know you'll be worse at it than me. Dude, look, dude, I know our strengths and weaknesses, and I know that I'd be better at this than you would, but.
I just thought it was hilarious. Like he said whatever the 3 things he said. He said something about eating a sandwich, where he was eating it, and something else. And I literally did not understand any of it.
I wonder
like 3 times. That's why this morning on Clubhouse when we popped in and he was in there, I was like, bro, I could not understand you.
He does this like John Wayne accent sometimes, and it's like his version of. Oh yeah, here we go. This is one of them.
Oh, he sure did, Gelman.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Well, he sure did, Gelman.
Oh, he sure did, Gelman.
Which is like his American accent.
Gelman sneak preview. Oh, hell yeah.
When he tries to speak in an American accent.
Gelman, here's your lucky day.
I talked to a lot of people about a lot of stuff. He's pretty fucking funny, but yeah, we could totally do that. No,
yeah, we should do a bit. We should do a bit where it's like Tim records like what did Tim say, or you know what I mean, like whatever the hell, and then I'll fucking try and figure that shit out.
Ben translates Tim.
Yeah. So, Ben on Tim or something like
that. Ben all over Tim. Here we go. Yeah, we could do that. You know, and look, if it makes you feel any better, I could also ask Ash from Woodworking Whiskers. He could do some Australian accent, some deep like Australian stuff, because like that dude too. Sometimes he gets like really excited, and then I can't understand him anymore. Like,
they should be our international reporters.
Yeah, and what's funny about sometimes when Ash hits me up, like he'll send me messages, and I can tell how like it doesn't happen that often, and I can tell he's excited, but like I just have like no idea what he's talking about. I'm like, oh, yeah, dude, I'm so sorry, man, but you know, I do love those dudes. So
yeah,
but
it'd be great.
Oh my god, yeah. So.
You got anything else, man?
I don't know, dude. Like, I can always keep going. Like, you got somewhere to be?
We're 30 minutes past our time. And
is Zencast going to cut us off?
No. I'm just teasing you. Just because it's
offcut. What's funny, though, speaking of long podcasts, I listened to, PJ,
the Junk Hunter.
The Junk Hunter. I listened to his podcast. Which episode
the Making Skills podcast, right?
Yeah. It's good, but it's long. The episode I listened to was like 2 hours. But I do like it's very well produced. They do a good job with that podcast. It's just I was just thinking like, man, like 2 hours for us, dude. Like people would just be like, okay, but you guys aren't really talking about anything. Like I think an hour is the limit of people will be like, I could deal with this bullshit for like an hour, and then after that, it's like, okay, I really have a life to get back to.
Speaking of long podcasts, dude, I just did a 2 hours and 45-minute podcast the other day with my buddy Dennis from 21 Grams.
I called you like three. I almost called Debbie because I called you like twice during that podcast and you didn't pick up. And I was like, maybe Ben's dying by the side of the road. And I was like, I remember you said that like Debbie doesn't ever pick up her phone, but like I'm like, maybe if it's just she doesn't like has it programmed somehow where it doesn't pick up for you. You know?
No, yeah, that could be it.
So,
dude, but yeah, speaking of long podcasts, like Jesus, man, it was good. I mean, it was a lot of fun, dude. We had so much fun. He's great at what he does, and he makes you feel really comfortable. And it was literally just 2 hours and 45 minutes flew by. We were just bullshitting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mr.
Like
I'm never on podcasts is now on 2 other podcasts.
I know, right? Tiffany's is dropping on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going to give a full review of both of your podcast appearances.
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be epic.
Let me tell you what I thought about you cheating on me yet again with another podcast. Keep in mind, it does not count as cheating when I go on other podcasts, but when you do.
I know. It's exactly what you said to me. You're cheating on me? I'm like, dude, bro.
Oh, dude, I opened up a Clubhouse room called "What to Do When Your Partner's Cheating on You" because I was like, "Well, if he's not going to fucking answer me," and I open up. There you go again with the ringing during the podcast.
It's because we're supposed to be done by now, Luke. This is my alarm for picking up the kids. Normally we're done by now.
Oh yeah, you got to go get those kids in a minute. I'll make it quick.
No, it's spring break, bro. They're home.
Oh yeah,
they're not bothering me.
High five, dude. No, neither of us getting interrupted today either. That was impressive.
I know. Although I did hear the door. The door just opened and closed. They obviously forgot.
There was something I was going to tell you else. I can't fucking remember it. Damn it. Maybe it was something about the podcasts. I don't know. I'm looking forward to the one with Tiffany too because I did bum rush you on that podcast too. Were you actually surprised?
Yeah, I had no idea. Literally zero idea. She didn't mention it whatsoever. And all of a sudden, a freaking another window pops up. And you're there. I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
She's so much fun.
She's like, you want to surprise Ben? I'm like, hell yes. So wait, what did you talk about for 2+ hours?
Oh, with Dennis? Oh,
yeah.
Dude, he went deep, man. Like we talked about what I used to do for a living. He talked about my father-in-law and like the story of how I got started. You know, we talked about, Debbie and I's relationship, how we kind of started our company, the story behind all that. Talked about high school and fucking bands and so we talked about everything, bro. He just kept leading me down a path and I just kept going,
I mean, it sounds fascinating because we've never talked about any of those things.
I know. That was the funny part. I totally forgot about that. That was the funny part after this weekend. You're like, you called me up. You're like, you skateboard, bro? And I was like, dude, yeah, amongst other things. Like, there's a lot about me you don't know, Luke. I'm like,
well, it's because like I get that shit from Jackie all the time where like she'll be like, oh, start asking me questions. I'm like, no, you got to understand. Once I decided I like this person, I stopped asking questions because I didn't care anymore. None of it really made a difference. And if it comes up naturally, whatever. The interrogation is over. He passed.
Exactly. I was like, dude, there's so much stuff that we have never even talked about, dude. We haven't even scratched the surface, bro. That's what I love about this podcast, because we're gonna get to know each other even more doing this podcast. It's fucking great.
I still get thrown off guard when people, like, I was talking on Clubhouse the other day and Lucas is like, yeah, he's like, just like when you were talking about blah blah blah, and I was like, when the fuck was I talking to you about that? And he was like, the podcast. I'm like, oh shit, that's right. Ben and I record our conversations.
Yeah.
That's
like
what we
idiots.
do now. That's what we do now.
You want to be great is that there was a record of this conversation
Yeah.
that people can reach back to and fucking point out all your idiot things that you say. Like, oh God,
Dude, I'm very a man of the present, right? I'm thinking
Yeah,
about I'm
yeah.
thinking about the future a lot, but I think about the present, but I rarely reminisce on the past. So
Yeah, well, that's the best part about editing. You don't even get it. That's the thing. Is like you don't hear any of this. Like you do the recording, and then you hear it on the day we release it. Like I do all the editing, so like I'm getting a chance to like re-listen. But it's like even from the time that we fucking recorded to the time that I edit it, I have already forgotten about what we talked about. So I'm like, shit, what the fuck am I? What did we talk about on this episode? And then I listen back through it and I go, oh, that's right, I remember.
yeah.
You know?
It's funny, and I listen to it when I listen to it on Fridays. I don't remember about half the stuff that we talked about, but like when I do listen to it again, like sometimes, like you'll be telling something, and I have this thought, and then I hear myself say the thought. So I didn't remember having the thought, but I listened to myself. I have the thought again, and then I listened to myself talk about it, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a good question." I was like,
Yeah, and you're patting yourself on the back. Great job, Luke. That was a hell of a question.
Yeah, and that last episode, I wasn't feeling great, and like I just was worn down, and like afterwards, I was like, "Man, that fucking sucked." I don't even know what we fucking talked about. I remember we said it afterwards. We're like, "That wasn't our best
Yeah.
podcast," and like listen to it, I'm
Yeah.
like, "I don't know what I was talking about. This is fucking gold right here." So
Yeah, it was great. Everything was great. We both thought the same thing afterwards. And I said to myself, I said to Debbie, I said, maybe it's just getting easier. So we don't think we covered a lot of shit, even though we did, because it's just a conversation, you know what I mean? Which is the goal, you know what I mean? So,
well, and plus, like I don't know if it's getting easier or not, but like I always write down a list of like stupid shit that I want to bring up on the podcast, and and it just like it's hard to find a way to work it into context. Like, how do you work Bubs farting directly into Ellie's forehead into a story? Like, yeah,
actually, I don't stop doing that, by the way, because those are my markers. Every time you say, well, I have something on my list that I want to talk about, I just know, okay, great. So we're going to move to another topic there. And then I just cut that part out of it. I just cut out the part where you say, I have this thing on my, and it just goes right to the next story. So those are my place markers. So it's good. Don't worry about that.
Well, don't worry. I won't stop doing it because, like I said a minute ago, like I'm not going to remember half of what we just talked about. So
it's like do a little prep before the show, Luke.
I did research today. I looked up how heavy a fucking Powermatic table saw was. And I had the Patreon list open. I felt like a podcast, and I had my YouTube thing, and I have not one, not two, but 3 mugs on my desk.
Jesus. Here's my notes.
Oh, you write them on paper?
Always, my friend. I'm old school that way. So Penny's doing her first sleepover tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's her first. Like she's done away sleepovers at Grandma's house, but this will be the first time she's done a sleepover at a friend's house. Because we don't live in a neighborhood like our neighborhood. Like we don't have a lot of kids in our neighborhood, so like she doesn't have a lot of close like in proximity friends. She's got friends from school and stuff, but they don't live like right around here, you know. But we met. One of the girls from her school lives in the neighborhood next to ours, so it's like it's pretty close. So she's she's gonna do her first sleepover. And
is it the other girl's first sleepover too?
I don't know, but it's Penny's first sleepover. So I obviously, you know, there's that nervousness on my part anyways, of her being somewhere else, you know, her first time out of the house, like doing something where, you know, so like, I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I know the parents as well as you can know, you know, somebody from, we're not like, you know, we don't hang out or anything, but they're friends.
As soon as they're not in school anymore, you're not talking to them anymore.
Yeah. I mean, they're not, that's what I'm saying. They're not like, I wouldn't say they're our close friends or anything. They're just, you know, people that we've met through them being the kids being friends and stuff.
Yeah.
So So I don't know. I'm nervous for her to do it. But I'm excited for her. You know what I mean? It's like a rite of passage. You know, your first sleepover at a friend's house. You know what I mean? Like, so that'll be fun. You know, of course, I'll do the whole, you know, you call us anytime you need us, no matter what time of night, and I'll come pick you up. You know, the dad line that you tell your kids. You know, so. But I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for her. But
I drop her off. I'm like, don't fucking call me. You're just going to have to deal with whatever happens. Do not disturb my time away from you. No, I don't do
it. So yeah, that'll be fun. And Frankie, of course, is super bummed because, you know, he's like, well, I don't get to, you know. I'm like, dude, you're 6, bro. Plus, you're still peeing the bed. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, I'm not gonna send you over to somebody else's house. Yeah, let's be real. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna send you over to somebody else's house to have an accident. You know what I mean? Like, not that he has any control over it. And no, and I didn't say that to him. I'm not an asshole. I told him he's not old enough.
Oh,
but you can't say that to him.
You can't say that to him.
You've said that to your kid?
To Bubs? Hell
yeah. Yeah.
I told Bubs, I'm like, you can't have sleepovers until you're fucking stop pissing the bed. And he was like, that's not fair, Dad. I'm like, yeah, you know what else isn't fair? That I have to keep buying diapers for a 6-year-old. He was like,
yeah.
I'm like, and then Jackie yells at me and she's like, you know, he's just developing at his own pace. And it's like I'm like, I look at him, I'm like, you little bastard. But then I remembered the other day that I didn't learn how to ride my bike until I was 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
you're a late bike bloomer.
I was late to the party on everything. That's why people are always shocked when they hear how old I am. I'm like, well, like physically, I'm like 4 years or 5 years behind. I'm like, so mentally too. So
I was just about to say mentally as well.
Yeah, like if they told me like, hey, we screwed up your birth certificate, you're really 4 years younger, I'd be like, but that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, but
I didn't realize you were so much older than me. I mean, like so much older.
Hey.
I mean, like fucking so much
older. I am proud of my age, 48-year-old man. You know.
So yeah, I don't know. I it's so funny though because I literally told Debbie last night we were talking about the whole Bubs thing, or not the Bubs thing, but Bub. It's funny. You call him Bubs. I call Frankie Bubba all the time, so I call him Bubba. So I'm telling Debbie, I was like, yeah, you know, Bubba's all sad because we were, you know, he was wanting to, you know, go, and then I was like, I told him he can't because he, you know, pee his bed, and she's like, did you really say that to him? You can't say that to him. You know what I mean? Like that's, you know, that'll hurt his feelings and da 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 da. I'm like, yeah, I understand that. I'm not a complete asshole like Luke.
I mean, it's the truth though, man. Like I tell it to my kids. It is. Look, my daughter, she still sucks her thumb, right? And like she's told me, she's like, Dad, my friends know I suck my thumb and they're okay with it. Which is probably like in the modern day of things is like probably, you know, like more socially acceptable because kids
feel your feelings and all that stuff. Yeah.
But we told her when she was like 4 that she can't dye her hair until she stops sucking her thumb. And like occasionally she'll be like, you know, it's not fair. I don't get to dye my hair. So-and-so dyed her hair. I'm like, does she suck her thumb too? And she's like, it's not very nice, Dad. I'm like, well, you know what? Like, I get frustrated by it. So we talk about our feelings and I'm not going to pretend I'm not frustrated. I'm like, I think this is something that you could take care of, you know, but she's like, you know, I don't know. And then I tell
is she still at this, like currently, I mean, it wasn't that long ago I saw her doing it. So is this something that she's trying to wean herself off of, or
I don't know.
She not?
Depends what day it is. I asked her, I'm like, do you want me to tell you to stop sucking your thumb when you stop sucking your thumb? She's like, yes. She's like, I would like to stop. And I was like, okay. But then when I tell her, she usually tells me to go F myself in kid talk, you know?
Yeah.
And so she'll be like, I'm not going to stop sucking my thumb. And like, it was funny. Like when she was 4, she's like, I'm going to stop sucking my thumb when I was 5. And when she was 5, it was 6. When 6, it was 7. And now she's 7. She's like, well, maybe when I'm 10. I'm like,
geez. Is it like a nervous thing, or is it just like at any point during the day kind of thing?
She says it makes her feel good. which
Copy.
makes sense because Bubs is always touching his junk for the same reason. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you got to
man.
pee or you just having a good time? He was like, it's nice, Dad. I'm like, I know. Like, what am I
I
going to
know,
do?
Frankie-
Tell him not to do that? Because, like, I know how it feels.
Yeah, it's hard to make those decisions or make those have those conversations because
It's the same reason, like, we go someplace that sells candy. I'm not going to be like, well, no, you can't have candy. It's like, I know how that feels. Like, yeah, sure. You want a piece of candy? Fine.
Dude, speaking of candy, we are on the outs with the candy at our house with the kids.
What?
Frankie came back from the dentist 2 days ago with 3 cavities, bro.
What?
So,
Three?
dude. 3 cavities.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's brutal. So,
Are those on,
we're going to have
like adult teeth or baby teeth?
they're baby teeth.
Like,
but
you just let them fall out then, right?
Well, that's what I said. I'm like, why do we have to spend money on teeth that are going to fall out anyways? And the doctor's
Yeah,
like,
right?
You got Dr. Scott, my dentist, is like, he's got to pay for that boat. You remember?
Yeah,
he's got to pay for he's got to pay for that boat. So he's like, no.
He repaints his boat twice a year because of you.
Yeah. He's sitting there thinking like, ooh, jet skis, maybe some couple jet skis to add to the party.
Oh,
So,
yeah. For sure.
Yeah. So
maybe I can finally get that limo to the boat dock.
yeah. So 3 cavities later,
he's got to be so excited to be working on your son because it's like, like eventually I'm gonna have to pull all Ben's teeth, and then what money am I gonna make on him? Like he could just do his teeth cleaning in the dishwasher, and it's like, no, 3 cavities, Frankie. Yes.
Yeah, cha-ching. Penny had no cavities, so she was golden. She had a clean bill of health.
Wait, nobody gets any more candy now because Frankie has all these cavities?
Well, I mean, dude, you can't let one have it and another one not have it. It's causes a problem.
Can.
I mean, I know you can.
You know what I love doing to the kids is like when they screw up and I take away TV time, I'll tell them, I'm like, Bubs, you can't watch any TV tonight, but your sister can, right? And so, like, we just have the one TV, so she'll be watching the show, and he'll be, like, standing in the other room staring at her like, I hate you so much.
Oh, by the way, Frankie now uses the I love you this much, but I like you this much, but I love you this much. He uses that now all the time because the other day when we were on the phone with you and he was standing here and he heard you say that, and then later on that day I heard him say that to Penny like 3 different times.
No, it's I love you this much, but I like you.
Exactly. I love you this much, but I like you this much.
Yeah.
Dude, so funny, man.
Dude, you know what, Bubs? He's wearing a shirt that says "Let's taco about it," right?
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, Bubs, let's taco about it." He looks at me, he goes, "It's not your problem." I look at Jackie and I'm like, are all kids this funny, or like is he just crushing it all the time?
Which is funny because you have like it seems like those moments where he has the quick response, right? But then when you ask him to tell a joke, his punchlines are never the right punchline for the joke. But which is actually I think now I'm starting to think is his shtick. You know what I mean? Like that's part of his thing. He's like none of my jokes are going to make sense for the rest of my life.
I know both of my kids want to be funny because Bubs did mention to me one time. He's like, "Is that a funny joke, Dad?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was funny." He's like, "Be honest." And I was like, honestly, Bubs, I'm like, I think there is a joke there that could be really funny. I said, but I think your punchline needed a little work. And he was like, I think so too, Dad. I'm going to have to practice that and work on that. And I'm like, can you work on not peeing in the bed while you're at it? Because like you're fucking hilarious, but you're still pissing the bed. It's like, it's not funny, Dad. I'm like, yes, it is. Like, and this is the part of being funny that I'm trying to teach you. It's called shame humor. Get used to it.
Yeah.
So
it's called high school. It's called high school, kid. Get used to it. Get ready for it.
Dude, and like my Ellie's, she's like been turning on me this last couple weeks. Like I told you about the whole like when they get on the bus, I'm like, and all the other parents are like, "Have a nice day, sweetie." I'm like, "Make them pay," and like they turn around to fist. Like Ellie's been telling me lately. She's like, "Dad, you better watch it, or I'll make you pay too." I'm like, "Thanks, sweetheart." So
I can't even imagine what it's like to be at your house.
okay, there's a direct source for this. It's my
Oh, it
dad.
came from your parents?
It came from my dad and his two brothers. So my dad had
I guess
three of them, and they were just savage to each other, and like they were savage to us too. I mean, like we went on a trip to Wisconsin one year, and my dad drew a mustache on my face with permanent marker.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I think like my cousin got a whole beard, you know, and like, so I rocked this like Sharpie mustache for like the whole weekend, and him and his brother thought it was fucking hilarious. And I'm like,
that is fucking hilarious.
It is. And I'm like, I'm looking at Bubs. I'm like, you would look funny with like a low fly thin mustache with like a little pointy goatee. I'm like, Bubs, can I draw on your face? He's like, no. Like he's smart enough to know not to. Like, and that's the part of it is that like I want them to know. I don't like. I try talking them into stupid shit all the time because I hope that when their friends try to talk them into it, they're like, no, like hard pass. You know,
look, you haven't even come close to topping my dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
This isn't even worth my time. You know, like, you think it's funny. This shit ain't worth my time.
Yeah. What am I? 4? That's what my dad was doing. We were 4. Like
exactly.
You know. So
no, I was leading to the point of like, okay, so you got it from your uncles, your dad, and your dad, but they've had, and I'm assuming you mastered that at your age.
Oh,
so
yes.
Like I'm assuming they are learning from the best. Is my point. You know what I mean? So they are starting at an early age learning from you. So like you're in trouble, bro.
I mean, look, while I've got this like 3-foot height advantage on them, I'm dunking all over them. Like that's just I'm totally Dikembe Mutombo. Not in this house. Not today. You know? Mutombo. So yeah, I'm totally Mutomboing them. Like
yeah.
You know, but it's great because like I see them then with their friends, you know, and generally speaking, they're the ones that are leading the charge, you know? And I'm like, cool. You know, I'd rather my other kids be following my kids into bad decisions than my kids following other kids into bad decisions. Right.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely want them to be the leader, right? Like you hope that your kids, you know, are leading the pack as opposed to following.
It was like I was watching more F1 racing, and one of the managers was talking about it. He was like, "Look," he was like, "I'd rather." He goes, "I don't give a shit if you wreck the car trying to win. I'd rather you wreck the car trying to win than you try to play it safe and come in the middle of the pack, right?"
Yeah,
and I'm like, and that's how I am. I'm like, I'm with the kids. I'm like, fucking go for it. I'm like, fuck it. If it blows up in your face, look. I am the king of shit blowing up in their face. Like,
yeah,
I wear shit on my face all the time. I'm like, so I can teach you how to get out of it once you get into it. So don't be afraid to take that chance. And they're like,
that's great. That's a great way to teach your kids, man. To be honest with you, I feel like I'm trying to be the same way with mine. You know, I'm trying to get them to just like, look, man, it's failure is just part of life. You know, you just got to go for it, and you know, you're gonna be good at some things, and you're not gonna be good at other things, and you know, like that's just life. You know, so but you're never gonna know unless you try.
You know,
that's
like
basically what I keep trying.
Yeah, and like you know, when you got those friends that like when they see your kids, like they want to like joke around with them and like you know trick them into things and like all that stuff, like and like. You know, whatever. Like when that shit happens around my kids, right? It just it never goes the way the adult expects it could go, right?
Oh, I assume, yeah.
No, it's like Ellie, you should totally eat that. Your dad would, you know, blah blah blah. Ellie would be like, ha! Why did you eat it, dummy?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get my dad's camera. We need to film this. No, eat it. Eat it. If you love me, eat it. It's like, Jesus.
Dude, I said it before, man. I'll say it again. Your kids are going to take over the world, and it scares me a little bit. Because I see Ellie. I see how Ellie is when she popped into camera, man, and that is one confident little girl.
Oh, she'll be like, I need to tell the people something, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? She's like, well, when you're on we should put this on your Instagram, and I need to tell people stuff, and I'm like, no, you don't. Go back and do it something else. All right, dude. I think we got to wrap this up. It's been 2 hours and 8 minutes.
now you're ready to wrap it up.
The offcut's going to be longer than the main podcast.
Exactly. Oh, we got plenty to edit out.
10 minutes out of there. Yeah, have fun.
No, we will. We'll cut it out. We'll figure it out. I'll make it look nice. All right, guys. Well, thanks a lot for hanging out with us for a second episode.
Double down.
Yeah,
KFC double down.
That's what we should have named it. The KFC double down.
Yeah. This episode brought to you by Fatness. Only hams.
All right, guys. Talk to you soon.
Later, guys.
You've been listening to The Jointery Offcuts. Tune in again next week when they try and piece together an episode from bits of old episodes. This has been a ConMan creative production. Text us anytime at 908 768 2664 or send us a message on our Instagram, The Jointery Podcast. You can find Ben at Condorosa Creations or Luke at Luke in the Garage. Everywhere that social media is sold. That's garage, not garage. Say it properly.